Hello. Testing. Testing. 1, 2. GC, what's up? Okay, here we are. VizHub office hours. I'll just drop a line in here. How's it going? Testing. 1, 2. Can you hear me? Testing. 1, 2. Testing. Testing. Might be something wrong with my sound. Huh. Testing, testing. Should be good. I'm not hearing anything. Oh, I have a problem with my setup. 1 minute, 1 minute. Okay, now I think it's working. Okay, I think GC is here. How you doing? Oh, nice. Good to hear you. I can hear you now. Yeah, I'm well, thanks. Anything I can help you with VizHub, or anything you're wondering about or interested in? Yeah. Well, I don't have any script or schedule for this one. It's just totally an open meeting, and I figured if there's no questions or anything, I could start doing some live coding. And yeah, let's see if anyone shows up. Totally flexible. Oh, and I could demo some of the newer features too. So yeah, a lot of people making these Buddhas, which is funny to see. I think it's an assignment. And funnily enough, my wife made the original of this one like a couple of years ago. So it's really funny to see how these things play out over time. It's beautiful. Yeah, you can see what it's forked from. A long lineage. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, this AI assisted coding is just incredible nowadays. And you know, I saw a pretty cool data viz that I was thinking to replicate. There's this open source thing called UnoViz, and in one of the examples, it was this one, this gender pay gap, which interests me. And I was looking at this, I'm like, oh, I want to sort this, but there's no facility to sort it in this example. But I was thinking to test out the new AI features by pulling the data out of this and seeing if we can recreate this data viz. This is the gender pay gap visualization from UnoViz. And it's from this original piece by Information is Beautiful. US, UK gender gaps. So the question is, how do we get this data out? Oh, view the data. It's a spreadsheet. Looks like we have to do some work. Oh, but this is pretty clean. Yeah, I wonder what year is this from? 2014. Is it really old? Or 2016? I don't know. But that's all right. Let's just make it. So I'm going to say download as CSV. And then I'm just going to clean up my downloads folder for live streaming. Okay, so we have this gender pay gap data. Let's go into VizHub. This is the AI test fork that I made. And I think I'll just drop this here. I'll call it data.csv. And if I'm lucky, the drag and drop feature will work. No, it's a little finicky. Sometimes it works. I think I'll just have to copy it and paste it. This should work. Let me just stop and make an issue, because like this should work. And VZ Code is open source. VizHub is open source, so if GC, if you want to contribute, that might be a fun collab. But anyway, drag and drop of CSV should work. Yeah, this is what I see now. So yeah, let me say open with text editor. And then just select all and paste. Now this viz does not have an index.html, so that's how we know it's using the version 3 runtime environment. And in that environment, we can actually import the data from the CSV file directly, so we don't have to call load data at all. We can just say import data from /data.csv. And then we can just return the data, and let's log it out and see if it worked. There we go. It did work. Okay, so let me give this a shot. I like Gemini because it's really fast, and so I'm going to try this speak feature. So I want to get this to show up. Oh, there's this little permissions thing. Please update the code to work with the updated data in data.csv. Oh, that's buggy. Hold on. Please update the code to work with the latest version of the data that is in data.csv. All right, submit. We'll see what it does. Oh, it worked. Look at that. Look at that. All right, it worked for a split second there. What's going on? Okay, it undid. Oh, it undid the changes I made. That's all right. See, I don't think Claude would have done that. I'm getting a feel for these different AI models, and well, I don't know. It was a little ambiguous. But hey, that actually worked. Oh, look at that. This is actually a pretty nice visualization of that data. Women, average annual salary, and men, average annual salary. So I want to recreate this one. And so how could we do that? I'm going to try Claude and say let me try the voice typing. Or maybe it's buggy, I don't know, let's see. Let's convert this into a dumbbell plot. Submit. No way. Again, I saw it for a split second. What happened? What? Did I crash the browser? What's going on? Well, that's lame. Let me try recovery mode. No, it's not working. Oh, it's been a while actually. I forgot how to use that. Well, I think I just broke it. Well, that's unfortunate. it was pretty close. But why doesn't that recovery mode work? I know it's Yeah, hash recover. Maybe that didn't make it over to the version 3. Okay, well, we discovered a problem area. Yeah, I think there's some kind of infinite loop situation. So that's too bad. Well, let's let's make a new issue. Yeah, we need that. Hmm. Well, let me try that again. So I want to recreate this range plot from UNOVIZ, which shows the gender pay gap, and the data was originally from this information is beautiful piece. And we have the data here. I exported it to a CSV file, which I then opened in a text editor. So I can copy this data and then go to this D3 AI template, which is code organized in a way that it should be easy to use this edit with AI feature. So I'm going to fork this and say gender pay gap. Dumbbell chart. I think it's a dumbbell chart. Let me just Google that real quick. Yeah, that's basically the name of that thing. So I'm going to go in here and make a new file called data.csv. And then I'll just paste that data there. And then previously, this file was loading the data from a URL, but instead we can just say import data from data.csv. And instead of doing all this load data stuff, we will just return that data. And then when this runs, it's not going to work because this code is looking for a whole other data set. So let me try this again. Edit with AI. Let's make this a dumbbell chart that shows the gender pay gap using this updated data in data.csv. Do not change data.js. It is correct. Oh no, look at this. Look at this crap. Okay. The speech to text feature is not quite ready. Ah, now my keyboard's acting up. do not change data.js is correct, because the last time I tried this, it was Gemini, and Gemini changed that thing around. Actually, let me try Claude 3.7, which is really, really good. Really, really smart. But it takes a while. Oh, look at that, it worked. um, hold on, I don't think I'm getting your sound into this live stream. Maybe I'll fix that for next time. But the question was, what do I use to write code? Well, I use VS Code mainly, and I'm excuse me. I've recently started using Aider a lot, which is really an amazing tool that lets you do this editing code with AI. So nowadays, mostly I use VS Code and Aider and the terminal, and I'm a big fan of Vite. So for most of my projects, we're using Vite as the build system. What do you use? What was that? PyCharm? Ah, WebStorm. WebStorm, nice. Cool. So yeah, the VizHub code editor, it's this open source thing called VZ Code, and I want to make it kind of like VS Code. So if there's any little editor improvements that you could suggest, totally open to feedback. But anyway, this worked amazingly. Amazing. And now, like, I wanted to sort it by. Sort the y-axis. Oh, there's something messed up here. And I don't know if this shows all the data either. WebStorm is paid, isn't it? I know a couple people who use WebStorm and they love it. But I don't think it's a free tool, is it? Oh, free for non-commercial use? Yeah, I think JetBrains pioneered the idea of IntelliSense, right? And then it was copied by everybody else. Okay, well, that didn't work. I'm curious, how many rows? I mean, I don't think it's showing all the rows of data. And in a way, I don't trust 3.7. It's like too smart. Please show all the rows of data. Oh wait, it is sorted. It is sorted by the gap. Alright, so let me make this taller. Alright, so actually let's sort the y-axis by maximum value, not max gap. And yeah, let's take the top 20 rows. So I think this is kind of the future of coding and data viz coding. It works really well for data viz coding. They call it vibe coding nowadays, right? Where you just tell the AI what to do and it does it. And I'm curious how this will impact my course. I'm going to teach my data viz course coming up, and it's a whole new world now. Nobody's going to write the code. Alright, this is more like what I wanted to see from the original example. So let me bring the height back down. And it's responsive too, which is nice. And I don't know why the hover logic is like this. Like when I hover over... So now it's just a matter of tweaking it. So like the left margin, I want to increase so we can see all the labels. And I think we can do for more than 20. So let's say make the following changes. Take the top 30 rows instead of 20. I want to get rid of this overlapping issue. So the color legend is overlapping with the subtitle. Please move it down and expose that as a value I can tweak in config.js. So ideally, I could just go into the config and tweak it and fix that problem. And another thing is, please change the number format of the x-axis, because it's kind of, there are overlapping labels there. Like from, for example, what is it now? $120, comma 000 to 120K. And have fewer ticks maybe? Well, let's just do that and see what it does. And it's remarkably good at doing multiple things at once. So let me see if Claude 3.5 can handle this. Have you been using any AI coding tools? Nice. I think so. Yeah, I think Copilot is falling behind. And by the way, a new feature of VizHub is these ghost text completions. You can say const area equals, and then it will suggest some text, just like Copilot does. And I really like the Copilot feature where you can select some text and say edit with AI, just that text that you selected. That's really nice. Um, but yeah, I mean, I would recommend to try Aider because you can edit multiple files at once and give it like high level instructions, and it can create files and delete files. It's really quite something. I know a lot of people love Cursor, but I haven't tried Cursor myself. Yeah, that's how they get you. They give you, it's like a free sample at a restaurant, you know. They give you a limited number of free tokens, quote unquote free, and get you hooked. But Aider is open source, actually. Like I'm just a big fan of open source, and Cursor is not open source. So, but maybe I'm falling behind for not using Cursor. I hear it has this thing called agent mode where it does like multiple. It like runs for a long time, not just a straightforward like call and response kind of thing, but like you give it a blueprint for what you want it to do, and then it does a lot of stuff. But anyway, this seemed to have worked fairly well. Now, I asked it to expose this thing as something I can tweak. Let's see, where is it? There it is. Y offset. So now I can just do the alt drag to position this thing. And what is there, some kind of problem? Oh, format is... It's okay, so VizHub is getting into like a weird broken state because there's a stupid error. But it should really just be a warning. But it's alright, we can, let's see, render SVG. I don't know, let me refresh the page. I'm not seeing what's going on here. It says format is imported but not used. I want to redo that whole error system because it's like, it's too aggressive. It's too aggressive. But anyway, now that that's gone, I should be able to just alt drag this. Yeah, that's what I want to see. Instant feedback. So now I can drag it to be at just the right spot. And then let me make the men color like a more traditional, like, uh, you know, male gender color. Typically it's blue and pink. That doesn't seem to go through though. What's up with that? Maybe the code is not using those variables. So let me try saying, please men and women. From config.js. And see, I don't even have to look at the code. Like, I think a lot of people are going to be coding now with just this AI iteration, not even caring like what file it changes, which is such a crazy world to be in. But it does take kind of a while. Okay, it worked for the legend. Come on. The color legend has the correct colors, but the dots in the chart do not. Please fix them. Okay, it weirdly reset the color in config. Okay, this is not working. Let me try a different model. So like, the color legend has the correct colors sourced from config.js, but the circles in the dumbbell chart have different colors. Please make the circles in the dumbbell chart derive from the same config as the color legend. I feel like you just need to be really specific with the instructions sometimes. And it failed. It didn't work at all. Okay, let me just look at the actual code. Hmm. Well, it looks like it's coming from the right place. Whoops. So config is being passed into render dumbbell chart. Config is being imported here and just passed right into there. So how is that getting the wrong color? And it's funny to see how it writes the code because it makes the code very specific to the data set. This is all from the AI, which is not necessarily how I would do it, but it works. All right, so let me do just a console.log. Like, what is that value? So it's getting the right color there. And then if I inspect this circle, oh, look at that. Aha. Men point. Fill is coming from CSS. So here's the fill overrides that we don't need in there. Okay, oh, now it's working correctly. Excellent. Cool. Well, I'd say it worked out fairly well. There's one last thing is that the title is getting cut off. And like, where's that? make sure to use. Come on. Make sure to use the chart title from config.js because it's not. It's coming from somewhere else. There we go. Nice. These labels are a little bit big. Can we make the labels on the y-axis slightly smaller? There we go. That looks better. Sweet. Let's just disable the hovering on the dumbbells because it's broken and it doesn't really add value. Sweet. The README is out of date. For writing, let me try the ChatGPT. Please update the README to be about this actual example. Let's see what it does. And just like that, it re-rendered the entire... It rewrote the entire README to be about the actual code example. So that's just amazing. It's amazing to me how fast this stuff works. Oh, let me cite the actual data source, and I want to know Okay, so it's from 2016. And it says source gender pay gap data. Please change the data source to say from information is beautiful at the following URL. And then I'll paste that. And we'll see. I don't know. Somehow I don't trust ChatGPT. Claude 3.5 is most reliable. I can't wait to start using this with like Teams, where we're on a meeting and somebody has an idea and we just ask the AI, oh, that broke. Look at that. No problem. We have a revision history, so we can go back to the previous version. So let me be very specific. Change source gender pay gap data to source. Information is beautiful, and I'll drop the title of this piece and make that a link to there. Why did this break? I mean, that seems like a pretty simple request. Why would that be failing? Yeah, render source. I noticed that there are some problems when one file gets too long. And I try to build it into the like system prompt, but like let's just split up render dumbbell chart.js into multiple files. Smaller files. Because it's doing a lot. And it's already got functions defined in there. So I think it'll naturally find the splits and pull it out correctly. Okay, great. Now we got a bunch of these smaller files, which is really nice. Okay, so now let's try again. It would be awesome to be able to get back the previous prompt. try this again. Make it link to this page. So change source gender pay gap data to source information is beautiful, comma, gender pay gap data, and make that text be a link to this URL. Can you do it? And it should only have to touch one small file now. Or maybe this and the config. Okay, it worked. Hooray! So it's pretty smart about adding a link ahref element. And if I click it, it opens in a new tab. Awesome. Awesome. And then let me just make sure that it's clear that it's from 2016, because that's the first question I had. I'll just put it in parentheses at the top. Okay, cool. That's looking pretty good. So, and I like how it pulled out the gap as a percentage here. So 60, like what is, how do we read this? Men make 60% more than women in the category of doctors and surgeons. That's pretty wild. About software developers. You know, it's kind of hard to correlate all the way across. Like I can't really tell which one it matches up to. So let me say, and I'm gonna ask Cloud 3.7 because it's a little creative. It is a little difficult to tell which of the y-axis elements lines up to which of the dumbbells, period. Can we add some faint lines that connect? Submit. And I want to make this workflow, this voice workflow, really smooth. Like this would be so cool if you could just sit back and talk and, you know, have your stuff coded for you. Wow, look at that. It did it. Ha, it did it perfectly. Wow, that's super nice. Super nice. So now I can see clearly for software. Alternating colors. Yeah, it is pretty far, but at least you can follow it now. What do you mean alternating colors? Like the color of the lines? Yeah. Maybe it could be alternating lightnesses of like different shades of gray. Because I think if we add color, actual color, like make it green or something, could be a little. Yeah, let's try that. Whoops. Yeah. It's still a little difficult to tell which lines correspond. Can we vary them by alternating slightly lighter and darker lines? Let's see what it comes up with. It didn't work. Well, hovering might be a good one. If I could hover. Let me try that. Please make it so that when I hover over entries in the y-axis or over the dumbbells, it will highlight the corresponding row. Huh, it's a rug. Row. R-O-W. Let's try that. Yeah, I wish it were faster. You know what? I wish we could see the actual output as it's generating, because in the background it's generating the response. Oh, it's something broke. Why did it break? It's too bad. Let me try one more time. Make it so I can hover over the y-axis and the corresponding rows highlight. And it might be a thing where I need to be more clear about the patterns that we can use for like state management. But I think it's pretty... I think it can figure all that out based on the code that is right here. Okay, that worked. Hooray. Nice. Okay, so now if I'm looking at this and I say, huh, what is it for programmers? Ah, there we go. There we go. Now I can see very clearly. The pay gap for programmers is 15%. And by the way, I think this is for the US. Yeah, this is for the US, so we should probably clarify that. Maybe 2016, comma, US. So yeah, it raises the question, why is there such a pay gap, and why is it so different in different industries? Like financial advisors, 63%. This one's even worse. Legal occupations, 76%. Men make 76% more than women in legal occupations in the U.S. in 2016. That's crazy to me. I don't understand why. So yeah, it just seems like an unfair world for women. It's too bad. But I also wonder, like, is it better in other countries? Maybe. I don't know. We could compare. Maybe we could compare the gap in different countries and see which one is more equitable. Anyway, I think that's a pretty successful test of the AI. So Plus, we're out of time. So I think I'll call it a day. Thanks for joining, GC. Great to hear from you. And hope you can join future sessions too. Do you have any questions before we wrap it up? Nice. All right. Thanks for joining. Take care. Bye.